Mr. Freeman? I think these videos are kind of short. I think we might have to do a few of them. We might have to get to 1 and then 2. Look, we have part 1 and then 2 lined up right after this. They come out in that order. Let me check the channel. By the way, how you guys doing? Right, and it's kind of an unprofessional intro there, but well, yeah, they are in that order. Part 64. Wait, when does 002 come out? What the fuck? Why are they 16-second clips and not the longer ones? I want to see the longer ones. But yeah,
so here you are. You've laid your fears and doubts on the bonfire.
Okay, let's go.
Burn the hell out of them.
First video, Mr. Freeman. I saw this on TikTok. Decided I wanted to check it out, right? Because I thought it was interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Let's watch it, right? Let's go into it. Let's go.
So here you are. You've laid your fears and doubts on the bonfire. For me to burn the hell out of them.
Okay.
Now I step out into the center of this effing coliseum with a torch and a gas can in my hand. In front of me, a crowd of naked people backing up against the walls.
Naked?
I'm in the middle of things, as you can see. And in fact, I am the thing. Oh yes, I created myself. I've put it all under my control.
God?
You get what I mean? It's strange.
Well, the universe, maybe.
I actually exist in the real world. I think, and I'm totally free of stereotypes. Oh yeah. My world has infinite possibilities without the daily junk food of television cliches. Without the catchwords and slogans that are imposed by governments, or by the boob tube, or by your precious internet. So here I am, right here, and I'm real. You're staring at your computer screen right now, but are you there? Hey, hello?
I think
And is
so.
there any way to prove that to me? And so it appears that you don't exist, and I do. I always have something to say. And what do you have to say? Think about it. Give me 2 brews and some chips. How revolting. Or, honey, I need to use the bathroom. While in fact you sit on the can and text your lover, or pardon me, jerk off. Your whole entire life is nothing but lies, porn, domestic spats, internet addiction, and mobile slavery. Well, am I wrong? Now tell me, have you ever done anything that's actually out of the box?
What box?
Never. And you want to know why you won't be able to?
Why?
Because it lies outside your comfort zone. And you're packed into it like you're packed inside a reinforced polypropylene bag. You are slabs of meat, squeezed between your daily routines and your work. Next one in the line, please. Or am I wrong? Maybe I'm mistaken. Go ahead and correct me. For instance, could you
say
get...
that I can go outside of my comfort zone, Mr. Freeman? I'm just saying, personally, I think I can go outside of my comfort zone. Also, why are you wearing that? What's up? Like, why I see some white right here on the shoulder right here. Also, you have very skinny arms and a very big torso. This is how I would draw my characters, to be fair. This is exactly how I imagine my characters being drawn. Like, even the hands look ugly, and that's exactly how I draw.
Give away your cell phone to some random person? Huh? Now that's a killer question. Could you go right now and give away your cell phone to some random person?
My cell phone?
Now that's a killer question.
Ooh, why would I want to do that? The cell phones are very expensive, and it's like I haven't even paid it off. I still got to pay off AT&T,
Could you go...
and I don't even know if I have insurance on it. And it's like, well, I don't want to pay those extra $10 a month to give to Apple Care. And it's like,
Go right now and reformat the hard drive on your computer?
reformat.
Isn't it freaky? Did you shit yourself?
No.
Do you know why you won't do it? It's because it would be like you're committing suicide. You don't
Well, giving my phone away wouldn't.
exist without this stuff.
I have lost my phone on a bus, and I existed for a little while. I mean, technically, you can't exist without a phone because my parents wanted to know where I'm at because they wanted to make sure that I'm safe, and they wanted to make sure that nothing happened to me, so they want to be able to call me and shit, and they kind of can't call me unless if I don't have a phone. So, I mean, unless if I do have a phone. So, therefore, I kind of need to have a phone. I got a shitty Motorola that my dad had laying around, his trap phone, and then he kind of gave that to me when I lost my phone on the bus. Well, yeah. And then that's what happened. But, kind of right. Can anybody really exist without a phone? He's kind of right. I probably couldn't.
Have you ever done anything at all on your own? Have you ever just followed your own decision instead of waiting for the order? Just do it, huh? So it looks like I am the real one, and you are just an underdeveloped figment of someone's imagination. You haven't been drawn yet. You're gonna have to try awfully hard if you want to prove that it's the other way around, and you can consider yourself a real living being. And most importantly, this is not a game. This is a...
Oh, well, I have to prove myself to be a human being by making my own decisions and not following orders. I mean, I'm kind of a rebel. I like to question things, and I broke away from a lot of the things that I was doing and that I was indoctrinated to doing and I was molded into doing by my experiences and my ficticity and my transcendence and all of that stuff. Right? Not transcendence, that's what I'm gonna do. Right? I transcended past all of that. That's what I mean. Right? Take My Muffin, episode 1. I'll have to check that out. I might make a reaction on that. Because why not? Why not? Right? But it's like, well, let's go part 1. Let's see this one.
Leaders of planet Earth, if you have found this, it means that at least humanity has survived. Those of us living back when this was made have no idea what...
It has the timer on
Leaders of planet Earth, if you have found this, it means that at least humanity has survived. Those of us living back when this was made have no idea what you've done with the world. We understand that you are under enormous pressure. The pressure to try and institute change from inside of a thoroughly corrupted system. But you made the choice to be a leader, and with that decision comes responsibility. So right now, speaking to you, as the insanity pushes us closer to the precipice, I want you to look in the mirror and say how you acted upon the oath you took. Did you take the sacred power granted to you to simply play the part of a game show host in another season of Eat Shit Laugh? Did you keep preaching about the rule of law while those seeking justice were mocked, ridiculed, or even killed in jails? Did you keep telling us how our economies were growing as you lined your pockets at the expense of massive inequality that crushed the standard of living for your country's workers? Did you keep dumping crap into the earth and sky?
I mean, that's because, you're working off of capitalism, which is kind of built upon a flawed system. And it's just like, well, from the ground up, it's kind of a shitty kind of, well, it's like the best thing that we have is one of those things that causes the rule of mediocrity, right? Wherein people don't actually rise up against it because, well, they don't feel like they can. And one, they also don't know if they should because it's the mediocrity law. It's like, it's just good enough to keep you going, right? You go to work, you consume, you go to work, you consume, and when you come off work, you don't want to, like I said in the last video, you don't want to use up too much cognitive resources, so you come home and you watch something that doesn't take up too much cognitive resources and something that does not take up too much physical, resources and energy, and it's just like, well, you're gonna sit back in your nice couch, which you consume because you bought it, and then you're paying for this house, which you bought it. It's another box which you came from riding from that box of a cubicle that you work in. You then rode in another box, which we call a car, to then get to your another box called your house, to then watch media on this box called a TV, where then you are consuming shit, right? You're consuming some shit, which then makes you feel good enough. Right, it makes you feel relaxed enough. It makes you feel like you've almost, been entertained enough, and you almost have enough to keep you going. You have enough to then allow you to go to work at a job that you hate, for a boss that you hate, for workers that you don't like, to then buy something that you don't even really need or like. You only buying it to impress other people that you don't like, to keep doing all of this, right? It's just enough by simply watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's simply enough by watching some drama, some comedy, some Netflix. You're not wasting $8. You're not wasting whatever the monthly subscription fee is. You're wasting time. You're giving up your time to go work. And it's like, well, that's how capitalism is. Somebody's always gonna have to work a job that we don't want to do, right? Because look at the technological advancements that we made. Look at how people can, put themselves in a better economical position because they really do have the freedom, but they kind of have to just provide value, and it all kind of depends on what people want. And if you can't provide something that people want, well, then you kind of starve to death. And if you can't provide value, then you starve to death. So then, therefore, we're in a forced altruism, right? You then have to work and then make other people's lives better. Otherwise, you starve to death, and help others, right? And it's like, well, you're forced to do it. But it's like, it's just good enough to come home and have your little entertainment, have your little Netflix, have your little whatever, ESPN, whatever, to have your little entertainment. It's just enough to keep you going on to the next day. And then the cycle repeats. Enough for the next day. Just enough to keep you content and satisfied and almost willing to keep doing it. And you don't feel like it's shitty enough for you to really call for a change. When really, it's just mediocre, and you don't realize that something better probably could be made, but nobody actually gives enough of it. There's not enough people who give enough of a fuck to then go and have a think tank, to go and then discuss and talk to other people about what exactly that would mean, to how we could do that, right? We only have well, you're either a Democrat, you're a Republican, and it's just like, well, there could be other ways society might be run, right? Does there only have to be two systems? I mean, does it all have to only go back to feudalism? But there also has to kind of be some oppression, right? Some people would argue, well, people kind of like being told what to do, right? People like having meaning. We just talked about that in the last episode. People like having meaning. People have an intrinsic need, a sort of arbitrary need, a longing to have meaning, to kind of being told what to do. A lot of people do like being told what to do because when you have a lot of options, you get existential anxiety. Kierkegaard talked about it. You get existential anxiety, so you kind of want to be told what to do. You kind of want to be given less options. You kind of want to just be like given a few options. Be like, well, you can either choose one of these things, do one of them, right? But not too many of them, because then when you have a lot of them, then that takes up a lot of cognitive resources thinking about which one you might possibly choose. Oh my God. Right, look at all the freedom I have. It gives me tension. And you don't like the tension, so you just give in and you're just like, well, honestly, I kind of, as much as I'm giving away my freedom, I kind of just prefer being told what to do because I don't have as much tension. And therefore, I feel a little bit less discomfort than having the freedom to choose to do whatever the fuck I want to do. At least when I'm told what to do, I can say that that's my purpose. I can say that that's my meaning. I can, if I can believe that, then I can do it. If I can believe that and go about thinking of the world and seeing the world in the way that I've been molded into seeing it, the way that I've been, yeah, then you can keep doing it.
Until there was nothing clean to eat, drink, or breathe? Or maybe, just maybe, you said enough is enough, and you finally decided to fight the madness.
That's what I want to do. I want to fight the madness. I don't think that it only has to be capitalism and then socialism. Why does it only have to be two wings? I mean, those wings came from that French thing that they had during the French Revolution, I think, where two people sat in a court and they talked about the decisions they were going to make, and the people who were more conservative or more with sticking to the shit that they already had, they sat on the right, and then the people who wanted it to be different, they sat on the left, or vice versa, because they switched apart. No, that's not the case, same thing. But like the right wing, there's only two wings. Why couldn't there be a north or a south wing? I've said this before. Why couldn't there be others? Can you only have two systems? It seems like it only ranges from, well, there you do have range like intensity shits between those two shits. Like it does kind of range between those two shits. But can you only have those two shits? Can't you have a different system that's not socialism or capitalism? I haven't studied it. Maybe I should go search it up. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe there are more. And I just haven't looked them. I actually realized that I haven't looked them up. I haven't researched. Is there anything other than socialism or capitalism? I haven't actually researched it, right? And it's like, why does it only range between those two wings? Why couldn't there be more wings? Why couldn't there be more ideal? Couldn't we be working to maybe make an even better system that maybe isn't necessarily kind of built upon the backs of feudalism, right? Because capitalism is good. It's just kind of mediocre. I feel like there's room for better. It's just like, in a lot of ways, you could see these people as completely, like, kind of like slaves, and yeah. I mean, technological advancements, but motherfuckers are jumping off of windows and killing themselves because of suicide during their lunch breaks when they're working out there in those factories, making not even minimum wage, barely making enough to be able to live in those sweatshops. Out there, motherfuckers are killing themselves because of poor working conditions. At what cost are we having these technological advancements? Am I right?
All we wanted was law, order, and freedom. Was it really too much to ask? That people practice civil obedience and actually follow the laws that they pass? Were all your words about freedom and democracy nothing but empty marketable slogans for baseball caps, bumper stickers, and coffee cups? Were your elections actually free, or nothing but rigged dog and pony shows? So which was it? Did you keep your oath? Can you proudly show this artifact to the world as proof of our progress? Can you? Or have you decided to keep this to yourselves, along with those files on UFOs?
What, the CIA? Files on UFOs? What? Does he only make one a year? What is this part 2? This can't be right. This can't be right. Part 60. What the fuck? He does make a lot of these in Russian, right? And it's like, well, I don't want to skip too much, but it seems like part 64 came out. Part 04, part 1. This is not uploaded. But I'm going to go with it anyway. I'm going to watch 2.
This part is very clear. You're nothing but a pawn, and you'll remain.
This is the one that I saw on TikTok. I like this one. This is a really good one. Let's watch this.
This part is very clear. You're nothing but a pawn, and you'll remain a pawn until you play. The rules are clear. Take what they give you, give away what you have to, and the difference is yours. The question is, how big is the difference?
Are you really intending to win?
Well, why not? There are lots like me, and we're the actual players. Because on one side of us are the real cattle who let TV do the thinking for them, while on the other is power who believe that we are shit and feeble-minded cattle. Over in the barn, they want us to take care of them. But a long time ago, they gave up on themselves, and now they won't lift a single finger. While those who have real power became more than the rest. Became gods. They sit so high up that they can't see us as either a serious enemy or a trusted friend. They have only one problem, that they're not immortal. That just leaves you and me. Sometimes I benefit you, other times you me. Everyone plays a game of their own.
Think you're a player, do you?
I play like the great ones. Take the authorities. Quite unceremonious, but they do have a few lively plays up their sleeves for the people. Every couple of months, they let them blow off steam. Elections, Black Friday, a new auto plant, the latest installment of Star Wars, the Super Bowl. And the people just gobble it up. But when people have holes in their pockets and nothing to eat, who's responsible for that? So now, without their beer and football, they need a sacrifice. And you can be certain that power will provide them with a patsy. And it'll be us, understand? So that is the game. Here are people who don't care about themselves, and here's authority that doesn't care about them either. And here we are in the middle, who sort of owe something, but what and to whom? It's not clear.
How pure and simple. You're more naive than you look. But you're right in that we are like butter that is spread between a thin layer of caviar and moldy bread. Which reminds me of a fairy tale. Once there lived a poor wolf, and nearby lived a very powerful and rich fox. They grow up together, were in the same class at school, but now they're in different social classes. The fox's life was like a fairy tale. One day the wolf came to him and said, "Teach me to do it. I'm tired of my life and I want to play with the big boys. I want to live like you. Tell me what to do." The fox answered, "Don't sweat it. I'll fix up a place for you. You'll have a cushy job. You'll sit in a chair, quietly catch fish, by the rules. Don't fuss, take a lot here, a little there, anything will do." So the wolf nervously looked around and saw that everyone was doing the same thing. And soon, it was all working. He caught big fish and little ones. One day, the fox came to get his share of fish, but the wolf said to him, "Sorry, brother, this fish is stuck to my tail." So the fox went and unstuck it. He cut the wolf's tail off and unstuck the fish. Good thing the wolf wasn't using his for bait. That's what happens when you play by someone else's rules.
Why are you telling me your tale's here? If you're so smart, then maybe you know a way out.
The way out, my colleague, is through the entrance. It's time to get out of this game. Look, yeah, we have money, and what good does it do? There is nothing for us to do in this country. The number of alcoholics and morons is larger than the whole population. It's all polluted, education doesn't exist.
Enough to keep going and then going back and do the shit that you wanted, that you were already doing, that you don't really like to do the day before. Just like keep consuming to, the people will always come up with a solution to your problem. Right? They keep telling you, well, we realize that a lot of the shit that you do is kind of alienating you, is kind of making you feel a little bit lonely. It's just like you don't really talk to your neighbors that much. You're kind of just looking out at your phone all the time. Even when you're out with family, you're not even really engaged with them. You're not even really having real social connections now, right? You're more just on Facebook and Instagram. You're not really getting real connection with people. Come on, be real here. Yeah, we can fix that. No, we'll have a product for you to buy, which is gonna fix that. Because why? Because in our advertisements, we're gonna have people looking so happy. They're gonna if you drink this soda here, well, maybe if you buy this product, you drink our soda, maybe you'll be just like the people in this advertisement who are having fun and bringing their friends out to drink soda with them. If you buy this soda, if you drink this soda, maybe you'll be just as happy and connecting with people just like the people in this ad. Maybe if you buy this car, maybe you'll have that really attractive person just constantly keep looking at you and smiling at you, and maybe she'll want to come up to you and talk to you. Maybe if you do this, magically the people will appear and come. Maybe your friends will just magically appear and you can all just sing Kumbaya around the campfire and just have fun drinking this beer, right? It's like, come buy our products. They're always going to have a solution to some sort of problem that you're inevitably going to have because of the system that you're in. And it's like, it's kind of self-correcting because, well, that opens up, capitalism. It opens up a market and somebody's going to sell you something, which is then going to make you feel good enough, which is then a product that maybe will temporarily give you a short-term fix for a long-term problem. which is therefore going to allow you to keep on doing the shit that keeps this long-term problem going. So let's just... Maybe we should find a way out to the entrance, you know?
And that new auto?
Maybe we should. Maybe we should. Who knows? Is there a way out? I don't think so.
And what good does it do? There is nothing for us to do.
People aren't going to do anything, though. They're not going to do enough. I would say there's nothing to do in this country. There's a lot to do in this country.
In this country, the number of alcoholics and morons is larger than the whole population. It's all polluted, education doesn't exist, and that new auto plant? It's not real. There's no other way than to leave and wipe this nightmare from our brains.
To leave? And who's going to let you do this? You'll never forget this nightmare because it won't ever let you wake up. We do have money. But whose money is it? Is it yours, really? Can you actually spend it? Or offshore it? Can you legalize it? Give it to your children? Don't lie to yourself. Don't be like the others. You're in a trap, and the trap will only open its jaws once you are good and deceased. We can buy our way out of a criminal suit, maybe a nice mansion, a few cars, expensive tutors for the kids, but that's about it. See, you're like a hamster on a wheel, no freedom to be seen while the system rolls right on. Why don't I tell you a fairy tale, my special friend? Once there lived a smart guy like you. He found a job, settled in, and slowly rolled along with his life. Then he looked around and rolled a bit faster. He was allocated a budget and he administered it wisely, and by the rules, he got his cut. You know what I mean? Why would you ever build a fence for $1 million when it can be done for so much more? So he rolled on like this. The books looked good. Sometimes they didn't quite balance, but mostly it was a well-oiled machine. He'd give a taste to get off in court, give a taste to avoid an audit, he'd give a taste to whomever caught him and get away. But came the day he decided, enough. I've made enough for myself and my kids. No more risk. Everything can change. I'm leaving the game. Quietly. I need to move my money out and leave. I got away from Grandma. I got away from Grandpa. I got away from the traffic cop, the prosecutor, and the tax police. And I can get away from you, Mr. Fox.
And what?
What? Just letting him go would have been a total loss for the Fox. Nobody leaves. The Fox hates feisty people. To those who want to leave, he gives a very tough time. Bounces them from the tax police to the DA to court, bleeds them dry, and tosses them in jail. You asked for it, gingerbread man. Why are you silent? Hello? Are you even here?
Leave him alone. He looks like he's asleep. What can I say? You seem to be making some good points, so I didn't chime in. So what do you want? To win? Or not to lose?
Not to lose.
It doesn't matter. How is it possible to win or lose in a game where the rules are constantly changing, but are never changed by you? I want to tell you a story, too. There once was a turnip that grew very, very big. They started tugging it in different directions, but just couldn't pull it out. The turnip creaks, but it won't come out. Then one smartass said, why don't we just grab the turnip together and pull it in the same direction? They grabbed it, pulled really hard, and pulled out the turnip. It shined gloriously like the sun, so beautiful, so smooth. When the turnip was just sitting there, no one got anything at all. But after it was pulled, everyone had enough. There is one way alone, for us to agree amongst ourselves, to finally write some rules ourselves. And that's when it will start. Our game.
Well, damn. Anyway. Anyway. What you guys think? See these comments. Some say it's a cynical view on the situation inside Russia, but it can apply to any country that has some level of government corruption, and that's, well, ain't that like most places, really. Of course, this is, the guy that does make these, it's a Russian guy. That's the main channel's in Russian. Yeah, the first part about the government letting its citizens blow off steam, but entertainment when things are good and docile while suffering up with sacrifice in times of hardship fits 2020 like a glove. Great, thanks for the final translating. This episode of the series will get more known around the world. It takes time for the people to really get the message. Many people will watch one episode and think it's quite nice what's going on with their lives, but only after it was subconsciously processed, they will get back to it and start to understand what it's really all about and recognize the game. They believe this is playing like the top of show. It's awesome. Well, for some reason, I kind of wish I knew Russian. I really fuck with these type of videos. I fuck with them. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Opinions on Mr. Freeman. And, yeah. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you think maybe they're been doing a bit much? Maybe they're sizing it a little bit. Maybe they're just right. Maybe they're making some really good analogies there. Maybe this is really deep and talking about society. I mean, that's what Mr. Freeman is, right? Like, if you go to the thing, you go to About, and I made a web series after its main character. The main content of the series is monologues, which in a harsh manner criticize the lifestyle of a modern everyman. It is almost known that in reality, no one knows who worked on the series. But yeah, everyman. There's a lot of everyman out there. A lot of everyman. It's scary. For there to be a lot of every man out there, bro. That's a lot of every man. That's a lot of camels. If you know what I mean. Nietzsche. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And make sure you subscribe. Because why not? Oh, shit. What did I click? Clicked the wrong thing. Yeah.